Hey guys, I'm back with a new video. This time I'll be covering Team Solo Mid versus Team Liquid's Week 1 Day 2 matchup in the NA LCS. Getting right into Champion Select, TSM on blue side has the opportunity to throw target bans at Team Liquid, while Team Liquid has to focus on banning generic top tier champions being on red side. As you can see, Graves is a champion Dardoch showed a lot of promise on in the NA Challenger Circuit qualifiers, and Kalista is obviously aimed at Piglet, which was one of his most played champions in the summer split of 2015. TSM also banned Lissandra, a flex pick they had trouble with yesterday against CLG. Knowing that they had first pick, they were probably more comfortable picking Tom instead of Lissandra, so once the ban phase was over, Tom Kench ended up being one of the S tier champions to the left, and TSM quickly picked him up. Moving on to Liquid's first two picks, they smartly picked up Alistar as their support. Alistar is a top tier pick, and also one of Yellowstar's most played champions in recent splits and at Worlds. For their second pick, however, they picked Lucian, giving Piglet priority over Dardoch. Looking at it from an outside perspective, it's easy to skew analysis not knowing what the current team environment and scrim meta picks were, or if they believe that Rek'Sai wasn't good against Tahm Kench. From my point of view, however, giving Dardoch a champion that's both currently a top tier meta pick and a champion he's had success on, notable Penta in Challenger Series qualifiers, should have taken priority over Lucian. This isn't a big point of contention, however it's something that I saw as a potential miscue in Liquid's draft phase, especially with Sven picking up Rek'Sai in the next rotation and Dardoch having to shift to Elise, a champion he's never played competitively and which also isn't anywhere close to his top solo queue champion picks. The next couple of picks were a bit standard. Ezreal is supposedly a highly contested pick in scrims, and Gnar is most likely one of Lurlo's most comfortable champions. What I really want to cover, however, is TSM's last rotation of picks. I believe the last two picks TSM decided on severely impacted their chances of winning this game, brought no real synergy to their previous three picks, and weren't optimal choices to counter Liquid's champions. TSM had Rek'Sai, Tahm Kench, and Ezreal, three champions that already seemingly have no real synergy together, besides the previous two acting as a mediocre single target CC frontline while Ezreal queues their carries. Looking at Liquid's composition, they have both primary and secondary engage tools, as well as a dynamic frontline capable of re-engaging at any moment. TSM therefore needed champions which offered the same attributes as Liquid in order to allow them to pick better fights as Ezreal continued to scale. This is why I think that either Trundle, Braum, or Shen would have been more quality support picks, and Ahri would have been more effective in mid. Shen would have given TSM additional engage, as well as supplemented their global presence from Tahm Kench and Rek'Sai. Trundle would have given them a seriously tanky frontline, as well as engage and disengage, and Braum would have offered some of the same attributes, although in a slightly different way. The Ahri pick could also be interchanged with a double AD comp, for example Corki mid. Double poke with Ezreal and a frontline capable of allowing them to output damage through Liquid's engage could have been interesting. To round out their composition, Liquid picked Orianna, which as we've seen as recently at Worlds, TSM vs Origin, is a relative farm lane against Syndra. This supplements Liquid's follow-up damage on their engage, and also gives them a better overall team fighting composition. Conclusions for Champion Select are that Liquid have drafted a dynamic team comp with mid-game power spikes, while TSM has tagged together a bunch of top-tier picks without any real synergy or win conditions. Getting into the game, I want to talk about some of the positives and meta play that TSM displayed at certain points in the game. If the clip rolls, you'll notice that Dragon is spawning in 1 minute. Doublelift goes top and proceeds to slow push the lane as Hanser is doing the same for bot. Doublelift then rotates mid and TSM poke defensively while top is pushing, and eventually Team Liquid realizes and give up Dragon for free. If Team Liquid wanted to contest Dragon, they should have put Gnar top immediately since his TP was up, and had Lucian counter bot. Team Liquid was in a position where they were probably close to completing major secondary items and decided not to contest. However, TSM's setup of that objective was properly executed, using wave manipulation to their advantage. Going over the first team fight, the shortcomings of TSM's composition become apparent. They try to engage on Liquid with Bard and Tom ultimates, as well as Rek'Sai's follow-up. However, once Tempered Fate is dodged, TSM's engage is too one-dimensional, and Liquid easily turn the fight around as Bjerg is too far up, trying to help deal damage on the engage without flash available. Liquid are therefore able to take the first fight 2-1 in kills, and are then able to secure mid-turret. Also, if you'll notice, Lurlo completely misses Gnar ultimate, so that fight could have been a lot worse for Team Solo Mid than it actually was. Moving on to the very next fight. This time, Tempered Fate lands on Orianna, while Hanser and Sven put themselves in a position to follow up. This is quickly re-engaged on with Gnar and Orioles, which quickly destroy TSM's tanks. After TSM's front line goes down, Liquid finds themselves alive, yet on low health across the board, therefore choosing to back out. Their dynamic comp, however, allows them to re-engage as Doublelift is trying to chase them down, and TL end up picking up 5 kills and the turret. Here are a couple of examples where TSM realized the challenges they faced composition-wise. In the first clip, they used Tempered Fate in a choke point and know that any follow-up would set them up for a huge combo from Orianna, Gnar, and Alistar. In the second clip, after catching Orianna and deleting Alistar, TSM are overeager in their positioning and are again re-engaged on. Their lack of disengage is shown, proving that they needed a Trundle/Braum type pick to keep their opponents from diving their carries. This fight gave Liquid an inhibitor, Baron, and total command of the game. TSM ended up winning the game purely due to Liquid's greed in pursuing an engage too far beyond their abilities. The last clip shows Liquid easily taking out Svenskjern and then pursuing TSM into their base, when they should have backed and acquired vision control around Baron, seeing as this would provide them with fight opportunities in choke points and would force TSM to engage on them on their terms, which as you've seen hasn't worked out too well for TSM in the past 4 instances. As Doublelift mentioned in an in-game interview, TSM was able to change their strategy and ball around their carries while cutting backwards. However, even by playing to the best of their abilities with the comp given to them, they still required Liquid to make a misplay in order to win the game. TSM was truly losing till they won, due to the long death timers and Liquid's own misplays, and not so much on TSM controlling the game for any meaningful portion of time. So thanks for watching. Analysis in hindsight is always more clear and comprehensible than it is in the heat of the moment. However, even with the ability of watching and rewatching a game, feedback is always skewed due to incomplete information on team strategy, voice communications, and scrim results. So I hope I've shed some light on the way this game played out. And if you like this video and would like to see more, subscribe and leave a comment on games you'd like to see next.